Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Santman Show. We are at episode number 10, season finale. Special show ahead for us. 2 surprises, 3 songs, 1 topic, as always. And as always, I'd like to begin the show with a few thank yous, few thank yous, so please bear with me. And before I get into the gist of the show, of today's episode, if you're listening to this for the first time, thank you. This is Santman. My name is not Santman, but this is Santman. It's a nickname I chose for myself for this platform, for the show. So thank you if you're listening to this for the first time, but do not go anywhere if you do not want to listen to the other episodes. If you want to see how the show will be like, you can continue listening to this, even though it is the season finale. You can listen to this, and as you go backwards from the latest to the oldest episodes, you will see that the quality will be degrading a little bit, because the first episodes were absolutely like pancakes, The first pancakes you make are always, the bit messed up ones. They're the runny ones. And then it goes on from worst to, let's say, less worse. I'm trying to be modest, but I hope that this episode will turn out to be as special as I'm attempt, at least from my end. I'll try my level best to include all the little fun elements from my preparations. And let's get into the show directly with the topic. Actually, no. Before I get into the topic of the show, which is not analysis, as the title mentions, I will explain why. I have a little news, like a huge, massive news to give you with regards to the distribution of this podcast. So, if you have listened to the previous episodes, and if you have listened to at least 1 or 2 episodes, you do know that I had a little goal, to achieve a few platform, to achieve, the visibility of my podcast. Well, to have my achievement that I wanted was to have my podcast visible on certain platforms. One of them was Spotify, which was ironically the very first one to accept and distribute my podcast. There was also, I believe, iHeartRadio, which was the second, I believe. Third to accept and distribute my podcast is Apple Podcasts, and so on. You have a few others. Recently, though, there are 2 of them, and that's really strange because this podcast has been, let's say, it has been a year since I started this podcast. And just like a few days ago, I got the news that 2 other platforms have accepted to distribute the show, and it is JioSaavn, the first one, which is like an Indian, let's say an Indian version of Spotify, which was, I think, the very first streaming platform I had subscribed to back in 2013, when I wanted to listen to Indian music from this country I live in, which is not India, clearly not. And I also wanted the podcast to be featured, and this was like my dream when it first started, because it was, I think, the first podcast application I ever used. It was Google Podcasts. So yes, my podcast is finally available on Google Podcast. Here's an applause, not for me, but for Google Podcast and for all of you who listened, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just being grateful. So if you listened, if you heard any of these names, so any of these names ring a bell to you, any of these names are services that you use, let's say you're a Spotify user or you're an Apple Podcasts user, you can just search The Santman Show on it. Additionally, you can email me, santman.happy@gmail.com, if you want any requests, any brickbats, any, if you have anything to say to me, anything you want me to play on this show, if it's in accordance with what I usually play on the show, which you will see later on how it works, feel free to reach out to me, because even though this is the final episode of season 1, there will be a season 2. Hopefully not too far away from now, I'm guessing. So yes, all this has been done. 5 minutes have been done, and we are getting into the topic of the show. The topic of today's show is a word. And if you have listened to the previous episodes of the show, you do know that the word is usually a concept. An example, I give you the word apple, okay? Now, if I say word apple, what are the first 3 words you think of? Like, it's an exercise for you. Think of the first 3 things that come to your mind when I say the word apple. Go. You have those 3 words? For me, those words are fruit, are a laptop, and technology. Well, no, I'm not going to use Apple as the topic of today's show. That was just an example, but I will give you a word, a concept. And there is no scientific purpose, or there is no real evidence that this is, something that... There's no method behind any of this. It's just a small thing I use just to see how the mind works, What are the first 3 spontaneous things or concepts or names or places that your mind goes towards when that word comes to your mind, So I will give you that word, and today's word is success. Now quickly, the first 3 things that come to your mind, tak, 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 blank, blank, blank. Well, hopefully they're not blanks, but fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Let me know what are the first 3 words that come to your mind when I say the word success. Now, I shall let you know my 3 words, which if you have listened once again to the previous episodes, that I have mostly given my words. But for me, success, well, the 3 words that came to my mind when I had done this exercise was gratification, happiness, and next. I don't know. I mean, I do know why, but it's strange that the word next is there. We shall dissect, not my 3 words, but the concept of success. We can even go to some of my 3 words. But let's keep it spontaneous as much as we can, and let's head in to the first song. And before we play the first song, here's the first surprise of the show. I had 2 friends, 2 fans / listeners / friends who have sent me really sweet messages. I mean, I hope they're sweet, but yeah, they're really kind of them to send me like 2 messages to be featured on the show. So here's giving a shout out to people I have mentioned in the past, Catman and Wonder Woman. And that's obviously their real name, No, they're not their real names. Yes, obviously. I can't get more obvious than that. But yes, in the Santman radio universe, you have had characters that have popped up in the past few episodes. Shoutouts have been given, contest winners among my circle of friends and family and loved ones. So here we go. The first shoutout is to Catman, and he has given me back a shoutout. Let's see what he is telling me. I'm really looking forward to this. Catman, what have you sent me?
I can't believe it's almost 6 in the evening on a Friday night, and you asked me to do an audio for a podcast that I don't even care about. What am I supposed to do? I've been tired for all week, and you asked me to do this? What more do you want? My house?
Okay. No, I do not want your house, Catman. And I think you know that I don't want your house. I just wanted a message. But okay. Fine. thank you, I guess, to Catman. Let's move on to the second message, which is Wonder Woman's contribution. This is Wonder Woman's message to Santman. Not like you, Catman. Let's see.
Hello, everyone. Wonder Woman here. I actually don't know what to say because Santman wants me to contribute to his podcast like I have anything meaningful to say in such a lame podcast. Like, really? So here's my message. Don't know what to say. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.
Okay then. Welcome to not the Santman Show. Welcome to the Roast of Santman. Sponsored by Comedy Central. No, it's not sponsored by Comedy Central. Please don't sue me. But yes, welcome to the Roast of Santman. Okay, so I guess thank you to you too, Wonder Woman. So those are the two lovely messages I received on the finale of the show. Great. And to add to that wonderful sound effect, I can hear the lovely neighbors upstairs blowing their nose. Technology is amazing. People are amazing. And with that optimism, I shall move on to the topic of success, which I clearly do not have so far. We'll move on to, with a heavy heart and with a lot of humility, I move on to the first song of today's show. I'm still laughing, sorry. It's kind of a strange contribution, and I'm baffled, okay? But I'm not that baffled because I do have a show ahead and I have to keep my composure. And let's go on to the first song of today's show. It is If I Can't Have You by Shawn Mendes, covered by Arnab Manandhar, a cover artist on YouTube. Really, really amazing cover. That's my opinion, but you can judge for yourself. And I'm really disappointed in Arnab Manandhar because his video is arguably, I think, the best cover I saw among the other covers, and it's really sad that it has only such few views and such little number of views. I will give the links all up below, and please check his video out, the original. Please give him some views. And here's If I Can't. Dun, 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 dun. Let's play it.
Everything means nothing if I can't have you. I'm into one when I got this view, but I might as well be in a hotel room. It doesn't matter cause I'm so consumed, spending all my nights reading texts from you. Oh, I'm good at keeping my distance. I know that you're the feeling I'm missing. You know that I hate to admit it, but everything means nothing if I can't have you. I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? I can't write one song that's not about you. Can't drink without thinking about you. Is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I can't have you? Everything means nothing if I can't have, if I can't have you.
Lovely cover by Arnab Manandhar of the song by Shawn Mendes, If I Can't Have You. And wow, actually, this is actually a real coincidence that the fact that the song's playing, the song's name is If I Can't Have You, and I had two, lovely messages, sort of, from my friends, sort of. No, they are friends, but I will not let this affect the friendship. But, yes, this song actually has been chosen for the context of this episode. There is a link with the topic of today's episode. There is a link with the topic of success. This one has been, it's not a coincidence, this is actually a real link that I made when I chose this song. Not only because the cover was amazing, but also I realized that it does play in somehow. But before I get to that aspect, I received two more messages from, the same people, Catman and Wonder Woman. Let's hear what they have to say. I think I have nothing to lose here. It can't get worse than previously. So, what do you have to say, Catman?
No, I'm just kidding. I think it's great that you've made all these podcasts that are really interesting, that you put on all these efforts in it, and that you enjoyed so much doing this. It was the first time I was listening to podcasts, and I think it was a nice way to get inside this medium. And it's always funny to hear your name out there and make you feel special. So congrats, and I hope you continue doing this.
Oh, that's really, 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 really kind. I mean, I did ask him for recording something for this podcast, like his views or what he feels about me and this podcast, but that was really, really kind. Thank you so, so much, Catman. Now, with me being all happy and gleeing and beaming from inside, I'm all happy to hear what Wonder Woman has to say.
Hello, everyone. Wonder Woman here. On the request of Santman to contribute to his podcast, I am so honored and flattered to be on it, and I hope you'll find my intervention meaningful. I just want everyone to say that good things are going to happen to you. The universe is going to give you all that you ask for. Go ahead and ask for it, believe in it, and it will all work out for you. Have a wonderful day.
Oh wow, that's such a lovely message. Thank you so, so much, Wonder Woman. And again, once again, coincidence. This is not the topic of today's show. Coincidences are not the topic of today's show. But again, the coincidence is that I did not say anything about the topic of today's show. And the topic is success. Yet, her intervention, which is really meaningful and kind, has that element. Put what you want, your deepest desire, out there in the universe, and you shall receive it, which is kind of a form of success. Unless you are Thanos, and you want half the universe wiped out, and I hope you don't get that, Thanos. You did not get that, or did you? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I both? No spoilers if you have not seen any of the Avengers movies.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
That's Marvel Universe reference. You are part of the Santman radio universe, and yes, I have mentioned that in the past episodes as well, because these are all characters: Catman, Wonder Woman, and many others who I will mention later on. Now, coming back to the song, If I Can't Have You. Do you know there's a little story behind the actual original song? When Shawn Mendes had written to it, his muse or his inspiration was, his current girlfriend, I believe, Camila Cabello. And I think she was, at that time, in a relationship or something. She was taken, I guess, I believe. But the funny thing is, he was writing and, dreaming about her. He never mentions her name in the song. He never, makes any reference to her in the song. But one thing led to another, and, a few years later, they end up together. Is that success? In a relationship point of view? Maybe, but I believe the real success will happen or is getting built on right now as they are together. Success is whether or not they will find peace in each other's company, and how well will they build what they have currently. And I really wish them the best. I don't think they'll be listening to the show, but if they are, Shawn, Camilla, a wonderful life to you both. Do not harm anyone with your love. Just love each other. Why am I saying it with the French accent? I can also say it with the Indian accent, with a really exaggerated accent, because I do not speak like that in real life. Well, I hope not. But yes, languages. Another throwback Easter egg to a previous episode. Now, we shall get to the second song of the episode. Again, has a link to the topic of today's show. You are listening to the Santman Show. You can write to me on santman.happy@gmail.com. If you are listening to this on Spreaker, you can put in a comment, a like, anything you want. Write to me, share this if you love listening to my show, and send me anything, songs, brickbats, compliments, send me your life stories. I will try and respond or not. But thank you really very much for listening to this episode. We are now heading to the second song of the show. It's Jai Ho by not A.R. Rahman, but by the choir, East High School Choir, I believe. It's a video I found on YouTube of a high school choir singing this amazingly. All links are below. Original name, video titles, name, links of this cover. All will be below or in the description of this podcast. And here we go, Jai Ho. Yay! I'm also applauding here. Well, incredible, and more than the cover itself. I really liked within the cover the parts where they go, that high pitch sort of that's such a lovely. I was getting goosebumps. So lovely track, lovely cover. Once again, this song also has a link to the aspect of success. The original composer of the song, A.R. Rahman, won an Oscar for this song from the movie Slumdog Millionaire. And the funny thing is, now this is my opinion, but this is clearly not his best song in his career. And I'm not saying it's not a good song. The song is really good. It's amazing. But if you are a fan of the man, and if you know his music, his discography, he has been in the business since maybe 30 years or so. And he has made such amazing music in his career, even in the last few years. But just because they're not featured in a Hollywood movie, people aren't aware of them. I mean, there are people who are aware of his music, even otherwise, even randomly. One of my colleagues from university had sent me a video, saying, hey, there's this Indian song I really liked. And it was a Tamil song by A.R. Rahman. And I was like, wow, yeah, I know this song. It's one of my favorites. And that's funny. As randomly as it gets, people do find talent. And people do find, legends like him. Arguably one of the biggest legend from the Indian music scene. But just the fact that he won an Oscar, that now he is an Oscar-winning music composer, does it add? I mean, yes, of course, it adds to his success. He gives, tons of credibility in the Hollywood or in America. But how much of it is its success? I mean, for me, yes, I was ecstatic. I was excited. I was so happy that he won Best Song and Best Soundtrack, I believe, Best Original Score. He won 2 Oscars, not 1, but 2 Oscars. When I woke up and I got the news from my parents that yes, he won both, not 1 but 2, I was so happy. But years later I realized that what does it really mean? And it's an interesting thought exercise. Now obviously he is keeping on with the success, and even in Bollywood he composes in Hindi, he composes in Tamil. He is a multilingual Indian composer, which says a lot about his talent already. And in Hindi, he composed an album called Dil Bechara, which is a really emotional project because it features an actor who, he passed away recently, and it's something that still saddens me when I think about it. But that being said, to give it a little bit of happier tone, I would like to say that yes, it is amazing that even for this last project of this beloved actor, Indian actor, he composed such an amazing album, such an amazing soundtrack, and I'm so happy. So happy that, this swan song / final project gets such a wonderful album by A.R. Rahman, the same Oscar-winning Jai Ho composer. And yes, success. It took a little somber detour, this topic, but I shall get back hopefully to a happier vibe. Like when I say the East High School, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I took the wrong name, but the East High School and their choir, who really did an amazing job on this song, and really I loved it. Really loved it, and you should watch. They have a YouTube channel. I think they recorded even another song recently, which was really good. They have like a regular uploads, so go subscribe to them as I head to the final song of the first season of the Santman show. Now, this is not a 30-minute episode for a change. We are going a little beyond that, so please bear with me. Firstly, thank yous to Catman and Wonder Woman for having been, listeners of my show, having contributed to my show. Thank you also to the various other characters in the Santman radio universe, the actual, listeners, contributors. We have had people who even submitted like poems that have been recited in the previous episode, so do check them out. For instance, IP Man, who, wrote a poem for one of the episodes that I recited on air. There is Unkadder, who is like a little brother who had won a couple of contests. There is Star Goddess, So Star Goddess is one of my closest friends and really someone who I really appreciate, and I thank her as well for being a good friend. I thank all the people who were there at the beginning as well, John Nash, Michelle Obama. I can't think of everyone right now, but there's also Supergirl, there's Superwoman as well. I really hope I didn't miss out, and if I did, I will. There's Nightwing, sorry. I miss out on Nightwing. Nightwing is really a really kind friend of mine, childhood friend again. And he also won a contest, I believe, or two. 1 or 2 contests, I think 2. Mr. Rogers is one of them who won a contest, now that I think of it. LeBron Nair won a contest out of nowhere. And yes, I really thank all of you. The show has reached, I think, approximately 380 streams on my website, on the website. So the total number of people who have streamed this has been, I think, around 380, which means even if we count this as 1 year since I started it, it's almost like one listen a day. For me, it's already a lot, but let's take it forward. Here's thanking all of you. Here's thanking Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everyone who's streaming it. And here's thanking Niall Stenson for his amazing cover of Iron Man 3, which is the introduction of this show. The intro song is composed by Niall Stenson, which is why I am not going to exit the show with Niall Stenson's cover of the Iron Man 3 song, the Iron Man 3 theme. But, and I do really thank him. He's really a super talented YouTube artist and covers a lot of pop, comic books, movies, cartoons from our childhood. The cover theme songs, yeah, a lot of those are there. But without wanting to bumble and babble too much, here's ending the show with the Iron Man 3 theme, but from an orchestra once again, the Oviedo Film Music Group, I believe. Also, once again, all links are below on this the description of the show. And here we go. I'm a bit emotional because I'm ending the first season on the high that I have so much kindness to give to all of you. I have so much happiness and gratitude to all of you who have listened to this show. Goodbye, but it is not goodbye. It is not. It is au revoir, which literally, if we dissect the word, means see you. Au revoir. Not really. Au revoir actually does mean goodbye in French, but if you really dissect the word, it actually means we shall see again. We shall see each other again, hear each other again. Iron Man 3 by Oviedo Film Music, of this theme which was originally composed by Brian Tyler. I don't ever think I ever mentioned his name ever in this entire show. He is the original composer of the theme. So is that a sign of success? That your work has become bigger than you? I let you think that. As this successful or not podcaster leaves on this note, I shall play Iron Man 3 theme. Goodbye, sayonara, thank you for listening, and see you soon.
is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.